Welcome to Purpose or Delusion. I am your host, Brendan Foery. This podcast is designed to spark thoughtful conversations with people who are actively working in the entertainment industry. The following guest is an example of a creative, self-sufficient problem solver who is obsessively devoted to their craft. Welcome back to episode 2 of Purpose or Delusion. This is our guest, Mell Bowser, everybody.
What up, what up, what up?
How are things?
Things are...
Busy?
Yeah, very busy. Earlier this week I did have like a day where I didn't do anything. Because I knew I'd be getting busy. So I kind of rested. But yeah, it's busy now.
Nice.
I've been running around all day. But busy's good out here, you know? It's better to be busy than idle, you know?
Absolutely. You start to go crazy.
Yes.
Start to go you become delusional. If you're
True stuff. True stuff.
And so you're a man of many talents.
I try to be.
You
Thank the man upstairs.
Yeah, seriously. Act, music,
Yeah.
martial arts. What else? Like, what is your what's kind of your elevator pitch of like your skill set?
Multi-hyphenate. If you need something done, I can do it, or I know somebody who can. But yeah, acting was my main thing. That was what brought me to LA.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like, but to be honest, I've always been this person. I've always been like an entertainer. I've always been like, I could dance. I danced a lot when I was younger.
Okay,
I would entertain my cousins. You know what I mean? So this is who I've always been. But acting kind of jump started the career. And I've always wrote poems and stuff. So I put that with music. And I was like, all right, let's try this. Business. Being in show business, you have to learn business. So I picked that up because I was like, yo, you have to know it. So yeah, I'm actually doing consulting too now. If anybody needs consulting, where I talk about all that. Like if you need help, like I do stocks, I can, get you in the stock market game and just like finances, anything. Those are my passions: acting, music, finances, and my family. I'm a family man too, so all that.
That's good. That's good. So how old are you? First of all,
I'm 30.
30.
I get young all the time, which is a good thing, I guess. Sometimes
you get what?
I get young. Like everybody was like, "Oh, you look 23. Or you look 20." And I'm like, all right, cool.
I mean, 30's still young.
Yeah, it is.
30's young.
I just turned 30 in February, so it's almost a year now. But I can feel my life shifting.
Yeah.
Because the 20s, let me tell you about the 20s, man. The 20s is where you just jump around and you don't know what you're doing, really.
Yeah.
You're just jumping around trying to figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
But then you make those mistakes or whatever, and you learn from it. Then your 30s, you take that. And then you're like, all right, let's capitalize.
Now you got that foundation.
Exactly. You're making more money. Your life is kind of more stable. You know where you're headed in a way. You know what I mean? So I'm excited about the 30s, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the beginning.
Okay.
The original Mell Bowser as a child. What were you like as a kid?
As a kid, I was all over the place too. I was my family always said I was smarter than the average, I guess. And yeah, because I wasn't like GT, gifted and talented, and all those programs. But I played sports. Cause I'm from Texas, so everybody plays football. I grew up playing football, running track, played a little basketball, And when you're there, you think that's how you're gonna like, yo, that's how I'm getting to college. I'm playing sports. I'm gonna make it. Yeah. But I didn't. I was like, all right, well.
Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. Yeah. Track was probably my favorite. I liked running. I did hurdles too. I was a short guy doing hurdles, but it was fun. Yeah. Football was fun. I was just a smaller guy at the time too, so it was like, I'm not going to the NFL,
Right.
But then, but other than that, man, as a kid, I was just like goofy. I was fun, but just learning, man, just being a kid.
Yeah. So what came first? Music? Were you starting to rap and stuff? Was it acting?
Unknowingly, I was an actor because we do the school plays, when you're young. And I would always get like the lead roles or whatever. And even in choir, I would get like the lead. I was a tenor, so I would get like the lead vocals in that too. So unknowingly, I guess this is who I've always been. And then as I got older, I would start writing poems and stuff. But I never really, I didn't really start playing around with music till I was about 15 or 16. And I didn't know what was going on. It was a kid from Florida who had taught me how to get into like computer recording. That was like long time ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was like technology has changed, but I kind of started playing with that, and I actually recorded like a mixtape. It sounds awful. It's still on SoundCloud.
It's still out?
It's still out, and I wrote it over.
To find that out there.
Yeah, it's wild. But it sounds awful, but I just left it out there because I'm like, all right, you know, this shows my growth, you know.
Right. How old? You said 15, 16?
Well,
you started
that I finished. I started writing that. It took me. That was a 5-year process because I didn't know what I was doing. You know, I was just writing songs. Like, you don't know really who you were becoming. Yeah, exactly. So it was like I was playing around with it, and then I'll just write a song. And these are all like just over instrumentals. There were songs that were already out, so nothing really original. Just the lyrics, and then that's kind of what introduced me into the music. And then I released that after I moved to LA, actually. So that was in 2010. I want to say I finally released it. So and I started writing it in like 06.
Oh, wow.
Just writing random stuff to random songs, you know what I mean? And a lot of it came from like 07, 08, 09. I did a lot of that. And then it's like 20 tracks. I ended up writing 20 tracks. Yeah, and then I put that out, and I was like, all right. That was my first taste of putting music out to the world, to be honest. Yeah. And then I kind of stepped away from it, and I was like, I'm out here to act, you know what I mean? Because that's where I was like, oh, this is my career. I'm an actor, you know what I mean? Because that's kind of what people tell you. They're like, oh, you got to pick a lane. It's like, oh, you're going to be an actor. Or do you do music more? Do you do this? It's like, no, you just do what you want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just do what you want to do. But after that mixtape or whatever, I was focusing just on acting for like 4 or 5 years. But the whole time, I'd find beats just randomly off SoundClick. And I just write to them, you know what I mean? Because I was just telling my story. We're all just telling our story. So, you know, I would just randomly, not even thinking about putting together a project or even releasing it. I was just like, it was just my creative outlet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because acting was like my business, artist business part of it. And then I was still, to be creative, I would just write. And then before I knew it, I had like a little project. And I was like, oh, you know what I mean? And I just started putting it together. So it just kind of, all this kind of really fell in my lap in a weird way. I mean, it's who I feel like I am this person. Right. So I've always been this person, but doing it as a career was something I never thought before. When I graduated high school, I was like, I didn't even think about doing this. I went to the military after high school for a little bit.
What branch?
Navy Reserve. Okay. Because I knew I was coming to LA. I was like, I'm going to go to Reserve, and if the LA thing doesn't work, I'll have that backup to go active.
So you always been savvy in the business side of things.
Yeah, man. I had
planning
to. Exactly. I've been a plotter. Yeah, strategy. I love strategy.
Do you like strategy games and stuff?
Love them, dude.
Do you like chess?
I never learned how to play chess, which is weird. I've always started to learn it, and then I didn't. But I play all kinds of other strategy games.
Okay.
Like, you heard of Civilization?
No.
Yeah, man. That's a game I grew up playing. It's like you start from like 2000 BC with like a settler. It was a computer game, and you go through the eras of time. Yeah.
Never heard of it.
It's been around forever. My big cousin put me on it a long time ago, but that's always been one of my favorites. But like Clash Royale or like, you know, those games nowadays, I love playing those.
That's cool.
And Sims. I'm big on Sim games.
Okay.
Yeah, I always like that. So
that's really neat. So high school, right out of high school,
I went to college first. I did go. I went to a junior college for like 2 years. I was studying kinesiology. I was going to be a coach. I was like, all right. Dude, actually, when I graduated high school, my plan was to go be a veterinarian. Because I loved animals. I still love animals, but...
favorite animal?
Ooh, that's tough.
Now and then.
That's tough.
What would be?
Dogs, definitely. Like, I literally...
Okay.
I used to be able... I'm still pretty good at it, but I used to be able to tell you every breed of dog. I knew.
Really?
I studied dogs. Like, I loved dogs. I still love dogs, but...
That's like my mom. With dogs and horses,
oh, yeah?
She can instantly name any dog or any horse.
I was like with horses when I was super young. Like, when I was like...
Yeah.
Before I was 10. I had books of horses and everything, man.
Wow.
Yeah, so, because I'm from Texas, so, like, it's country, too, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it was horses, then dogs. At this moment, snakes. I'm very fascinated by snakes. I just got a snake, a ball python. I want to put this out there. Royal python. They're called royal pythons, also ball pythons, for 2 reasons. Royal python, because the kings in Africa used to wear them around their wrist as jewelry.
Whoa.
And then ball pythons, because when they get scared, they ball up into a little ball. So I actually got a python just
recently?
Yeah, she's probably 4 or 5 months old. But it's a really cool experience.
How big is she right now?
She's getting big. She's like this big now. She's getting fat too. She's starting to eat. When I first got her, dude, I was stressing because she did not eat. Because I was feeding her like frozen, and we would thaw it out, and she would not eat it. Then we got her live rats, mice. She started with mice, and she's been eating every week since. I'm
gosh, dude! Snakes freak me out.
A lot of people.
I used to have a fascination with them because like if I'd find garter snakes or whatever, super cool. And one time I was like stacking firewood. And I found one, and I grabbed it, and it bit me right on the thumb, and I shook it.
Yeah.
I look at my hand, it didn't come off, and I was like, ah! So I had to like rip it off. Yeah. And ever since then, I've kind of been like, ah.
Nah, snakes freak out a lot of people, and I think that's kind of what drew me to them too. I was like, let me see, because my research on them, like, I don't know, my research on them is like, I see the good part of it. It's like I think we've all been brainwashed in a way to see or be freaked out of whatever may happen. Yeah. But I don't know, man.
Like shark attacks.
Yeah,
that's a good example. Like shark attacks actually don't happen that often.
Yeah, and if they do, it's because you probably look like a seal.
Yeah.
You were in the water. You know what I mean? So it's like I love animals. I love nature. You know what I mean? I feel like if you understand nature, you can really understand life better. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
So. I love all animals, but right now, snakes. A wolf is one of my favorite animals. A lion. Yeah. I like the powerful animals too, but I like the ones that you don't really think about. Snakes are low to the earth, so they're connected to the earth better than anybody. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
This is why I love podcasts, because I never would have known.
You learn so much about people.
We've known each other 2 years, and I wouldn't have known.
It's deep. Like, we're already figuring it out.
We're already there.
Heck yeah.
So you go to college for 2 years.
Yep.
Just get it. Did you drop out after 2 years, or did you just go for it?
I had a lot going on in life, so I was like, all right. I was getting grants, and I didn't take out any loans, but I did get grants. But then I was like doing some other stuff, and my mind wasn't on school, so I dropped out. And then I was like, all right, but I still have to do something. It was like 20s, man. I was figuring out my life. I was like, I had to do something because I can't just stay here and just do what everybody else is doing. Right. So my best friend had went to the Navy active like a few years before I did. And I was like, all right, cool. He can do it. Let me try. So I went. But I'll tell the story all the time. Okay, this is how my life transitioned to this moment, I guess. But, okay, so I was going to the Navy. I had signed up. That was my plan. I was like, I feel like I'm going to go reserve just in case something else is still out there. Maybe I'll come back, go to school. Let me just get away from my hometown for a while and figure some stuff out. This seems like a good plan. So I did that. And right before I did that, they did like this talent showcase open call. And I had never thought about being an actor as a profession. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I was just like, all right, let me try. Let me just see what happens. So I went and I read like this little script. And then, like, everybody in the crowd started clapping. And then this dude goes, I'm going back to my seat, and this dude goes, we're going to see you on the big screen one day. I swear, that is the moment that changed my life.
Just like some random guy after?
Random guy. He was there with his kids, to do it, or his grandkids or whatever, to do it. But, yeah.
Do you remember what it was?
The script?
Yeah.
It was a commercial for 10 Things I Hate About You. It was like this short little script. And everybody was going up doing it, you know what I mean? And I just put something into it, yeah. And everybody was clapping. I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" Wow. I've never felt that before, and I think that was like my first hit of performing and feeling that. You know what I mean? And I was like,
and you felt that drug.
Yeah, and then as I walked back to my seat, the guy says that, and I'm like, huh. And then, interesting. But the showcase, I end up getting accepted into the program, but the showcase happened a week after my ship date. So I couldn't do it, right? So I went to the Navy. I was like, all right, well, let me do what I have to do. My mind was already changed. You know what I mean? I knew what I was going to do, but I had already signed up for this commitment. Let me go through and experience this, see what happens. But I know what I'm doing after I get out, after all this is over. So I went to boot camp. I went to A school, trained, and then I was reserved. So I came back home for
How long after you got shipped out? How long was that?
Was that process? The whole...
Yeah.
All right, so I got shipped out, and then I did 2 months of boot camp. Then I ended up doing 4 or 5 of A school, which was in Pensacola, Florida. It was so cool. I love that. That was like a great time in my life, to be real. I love the Navy. I would definitely go back. I always say this, too. It's hard to live 2 lives or live different lives. I would love to advance in the ranks of the military, but this takes so much of your life. You know what I mean? You have to give this so much. And this was my choice. So, But yeah, as I'm going through that, I'm telling my friends in the boot camp too. I mean, in school, I'm like, yo, I'm not doing this forever. I'm about to go to Hollywood after this. And nobody was believing me, you know, because
of course, because you're in the military,
exactly.
Dude.
And who says that? And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm about to go be a movie star. I'm about to go get on TV. And they're like, yeah, okay. And then I still talk to them too. So
oh, really?
Cool. Yeah, it's crazy because they see me on TV and stuff, and they're like, yo, you did it. What the? Like, yeah. But you know, the whole time I'm doing that, my mind is on this. So I go back home because reserve, you just go back once a month, twice a week or whatever. So I'm drilling, and then another time comes around where they do it. This other lady does a showcase named Nikki Peterson. She does like the talent showcase, and she brings people out here. So I did her class or her showcase, and with her, we came out to LA for a showcase at the beginning of the year, 2012, and I ended up winning that showcase. I was Actor of the Year, IMTA, Actor of the Year 2012. I think I was Model of the Year or Runner-Up, and I won like all the acting competitions. And that's where I got my first manager. Dang. Yeah, I got a crazy story, and I'm glad we can do this because it's cool to
tell your story, man.
Yeah, thank you for the platform. Give it up to Brendan right now, before we finish.
So, that's crazy. Because a lot of people, like your first experience, like this guy, you do this talent show, this dude tells you, you're literally shipping off into the military, and you go, I know exactly, I'm going to go to Hollywood.
That was it.
You go to Hollywood and instantly get a manager.
Yep, from that
so how old are you at this point?
I was 23.
Early 20s.
Yeah, early 20s. 23 or 24. I can't do the math right now. But 23, I want to say.
Okay.
I won that. Or maybe I was 22 and then I turned 23 the month after. That's when I moved out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up winning that. And that's when I got my first manager.
You're diving into full acting at this point.
Yeah, I moved out here in May. And then we're like, my manager's like, all right, let's go. And I just figured out asking questions, what do I need to do? You know how it goes. You just find your way. And then by October of that year, I booked my first guest star role on a show. It was a Fox show called Surviving Jack with Christopher Maloney, who was on Law & Order. Uh-huh. And that was my first time on TV.
Dang.
Well, actually, I take that back. I had booked like a series. I mean, not a series, right? I wish. A background, and like the camera found me, so it was like a lot of people saw me from that. And they were like,
that's cool.
Yeah, so that was my first time really seeing it on TV. But speaking,
actually
was
yeah. Okay, and so everyone back home, everyone in college, they get to see this show, and they're like, dang.
Yeah.
So tell me about like your home life growing up. We'll go back real quick because I want to know like your
back forth.
Like who was your
like
was your family supportive of all of this?
My family has been supportive of everything I do. They're just glad I'm not doing trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, go. You know, get out of. We're from a small country town, so lot of people.
Where in Texas?
Bryan, College Station. It's getting kind of bigger now because College Station is a college town, and they're getting pretty big. You know, they're having their shine. But Bryan is like the shadow of it in a way.
And what's close?
It's Central Texas, so
okay.
Austin is to the north, Dallas is to the north, Houston is to the south, and Austin is to the west.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like the center of all three of those major cities.
Yeah.
So I spent some time in Austin when I was younger. I spent some time in Houston, Dallas, but just like bouncing around. But for the most part, small city. Okay,
so after your first speaking role on TV, you're just like, just auditions. Like, you're just grinding it out for the next few years.
So that made me SAG eligible to be able to join the union, but I didn't join the union until later.
Right, because you kind of want to hang on.
Yeah,
to that
you don't want to join right away, especially if you're not like booking a lot because you have to pay your dues, you have to pay your fees. Yeah. It's a lot to get in. So we just kept building out my resume. I would do a lot of college student films with USC and Chapman, which is cool because now, if you're a young actor, do your student films with USC, Chapman. Just do your student films because those kids I was doing them with now are like becoming major players in the industry.
To the next.
Yeah, so they're like writers now. They're like producers. They're starting to just like do big things, and it's cool because you build those relationships. It's all about relationships.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I don't remember the next thing I booked that was big. Actually, I think like the next year I booked something with Tyler Perry, and my mom and my grandma, they all love that show, The Have and Have Nots, and that was pretty big because that was the first time I flew first class. First time I got to get flown out to Atlanta. That's when I first, like, it was the dream. Dream felt real right there. But yeah, that was the next big thing. And it's just been like, years go by.
Blocks.
Exactly. And I think I'm getting closer, but it's a journey.
Closer to what?
Journey. So my dream is just to be able to perform and entertain and do these things that I love and make money from it, and that's it. Like, I work in a hotel now still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is okay, because everybody has to have, a side gig to build this up.
So you just want to scale it to the point you can be doing it full time.
Yeah, man. If I can just book a movie every 3 months or something, and that pays for my annual salary, that's the dream. That's the goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I can take time to do music and just get out of debt. Good Lord,
Are you still paying college?
Not college. Credit cards.
Credit card debt.
Yeah, I got caught up with credit cards, which is hard. Because LA.
It's expensive out here.
It is.
It's expensive. LA is. I mean, every city is tricky. We talked about this in the last episode.
Yeah.
But I mean, LA is just expensive. Rent's expensive. Food's expensive. Gas is expensive. Everything's expensive.
I'm actually thinking about going to Georgia because Georgia's starting to. The film industry there is starting to pick up. You know what I mean, they're shooting a lot more there.
What is because I've talked to a few people about this and I'm really interested. They shoot a lot there. Or do they actually cast out there though? Because I've heard they only.
Here's the thing about casting too that's changed. You used to have to be here. They're doing self-tapes. You know what I mean? And I feel like, me personally, I'm starting to build a name where some casting directors are starting to get to know me. You know what I mean? So it's like
you're building those relationships
over
long periods of time.
Like, I have a casting director out of the East Coast who's booked me for 2 movies that I have. My biggest movie I've done was a Lifetime movie so far, and I just booked another movie that's gonna be pretty big. And it's the same casting director, but
really,
that's on tape. And I flew to Pennsylvania to shoot one, and I flew to Cleveland to shoot another one. So it's like, what am I doing in LA?
Did you say Lifetime?
Yeah, I did a Lifetime movie.
My friend Eric was just on Christmas Reservations.
Lifetime
movie.
Man, that's good.
In that,
Christmas
that's
Lifetime
really cool.
movie.
Really cool.
But going back to, like I said, I just booked this other movie. I can't even talk about it. You signed a lot of NDAs in this. This is crazy. But I did book a movie, and I was talking about the guy who said one day we're gonna see you on a big screen.
Yeah.
I feel like that's when it comes full circle because it's gonna be my first. Big screen appearance.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's not like a lead or anything, but it's a supporting, and I get some good camera time, and it's like, dang, maybe that's what he's,
theaters, man.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So how at that? So that will have been like
8 years.
Almost
9
a decade later.
Almost. Yeah.
That's crazy. Because something I think a lot of the guests I have lined up, who are going to be on this podcast, are still. Most of them are pretty young. I have a couple guys who. Actually, you and then this girl named Tori, who's going to be on. You both are 30. I think you guys are like the only 2 who are kind of older.
Yeah.
And I love having this contrast of having like someone who's gone through their 20s and knows it's about patience. We've talked about this. It's about patience. It's about paying your dues. It's about going through the process, building relationships, being kind to everyone, like all of this stuff.
Definitely.
And when you're my age, like I just turned 21.
Yeah. He's got the world ahead of him.
Yeah.
He's gonna be great.
And it's hard sometimes to you have to constantly remind yourself, like, slow down. There's so much time.
Let me say this about you. You are you're ahead of it because you know what you want to do. You know, you're on it. You know what I mean? At 21, dude, I was still running around partying. Yeah. I wasn't. This was not my life at all. You know what I mean? I didn't figure this out till 23ish. You know, so you're already here. You're already in LA. You're already making these moves. Your music is doing things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, you're ahead of it. So.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Good
that kind of leads into because the show is called Purpose or Delusion, and one of the things I want to talk about is like, everyone is on this search their entire lives, in my opinion, for their purpose. Like,
right.
Like, I mean, even our parents, like, sometimes don't even know what's going on. Like, they have more life experience, but like we're constantly trying to figure it out. How does somebody find that purpose? And a second part of that question I want to talk about on the flip side is like the delusion side of it. Like, because a lot of people from your beginning, like you're crazy, man. You're like you're a military boy. You're not going to Hollywood.
Right.
Are you like? How do you know the difference? How do you find your purpose? Let's talk about that and that psychology a little bit.
I'm gonna answer it backwards though. Let's start with the delusional part of it.
Let's do it.
You have to be crazy to chase your dreams. You
man.
have to,
Yes.
because this is deep. I get deep sometimes on it, but we've all been brainwashed from kids. You know what I mean? We've been brainwashed from kids to most people. It's like you're trained from it. You go to school, grow up, you go to work, and that's what you do for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. That's it. But you have to be like, you know what? Nah, I think I'm gonna do. You know, you have to be
go against the grain.
A little different. Yeah. So, and you have to seem delusional, like people, and you have to know that your vision is your vision. Nobody else is gonna see it, because we all have our own visions of life that we get from a higher power, God, whatever you want to call it. Your vision is your vision, and yes, it's gonna sound crazy sometimes because
no one else, no one else can see that.
Yeah. And as far as purpose, I feel like you just gotta live your life, and you don't even know your purpose. I think your purpose is just shown through your life. Like for me personally, I used to think, and maybe it kind of still is, my purpose was to, one, just make the people who come after me have a better life. I feel like that's part of my purpose that I was aware of, and I see that happening.
Yeah.
But I noticed that throughout the years, man, I've got messages where I just inspire the most random people. People randomly hit you up in your inbox. Yo, you're so inspiring. You made me want to do this. You made me want to do that. And I'm just living my life. So it's like your purpose is tied in with something you don't even know sometimes, Yeah. So, yeah.
How do you see that our industry, the entertainment industry as a whole, and also just film and music, how are they changing? Are they changing? What are some ways people can take advantage of those changes?
Rapidly changing. Rapidly. Dude, literally 5 years ago, there were no, self-tapes were not a thing in a way. 5, maybe 6 years. Now, that's basically the standard. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's what hit me about, all right, I don't really have to be in LA anymore. So as far as film, that's one thing. And there's so much out there now that you don't have to be in LA. You can do it from home because you have the internet. You have all these different tools. As far as music, dude, you can make a whole album in your room and put it out to the world in your room. You don't necessarily need, the big labels like you need. You don't need that as big of a budget as maybe they used to a few years ago. You know what I mean? Because literally, Breathe is the perfect example.
And for those who don't know, we put out a song last year called Breathe, and that's all.
And we just put it out, it's been bubbling. You know what I mean? It's been doing some wild stuff that I didn't see coming. I mean, I knew it was a great song, but I didn't expect what it's been doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just bubbling. It's popping on some hot playlist on Pandora. Spotify took it from day one. It was like, this is nice.
It was my first song. So I put out 27 songs in my kind of 7-year career since I've been a teenager.
Right.
And that's the first song that landed on an editorial playlist. Man. And that was pretty exciting.
That was cool. That was real cool. And it was like, that's what I'm saying, man. The music will find, if some way, if you put it out, the music will find where it needs to go. Just believing in yourself. But the industries have changed. Entertainment as a whole it's interesting, but it's so spread out now. You know what I mean? There's podcasts. This is entertainment. The music is entertainment. Film. You can do that on Instagram. You can do that on YouTube. There's
so many
TikTok.
Platforms.
So many platforms. So many platforms. So it's changed a lot, and it's cool to be a part of it, man. It's cool to see it, but you got to be hip to it, because if you're not, you'll get left really quick.
Everything's
so quick.
Attention spans are fast. Changing trends and not that it's about chasing trends, but everything's just changing so quickly because it's so new.
Mm-hmm.
This is so new.
Yep.
I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think people understand how this whole new landscape of how the internet is being used in these industries.
The internet changed it all.
Changed everything, and it's just starting to maybe kind of become a normal thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a shift. Because not too long ago, people were like, you want to be a YouTube star? Ha ha ha, what is that? Now that's a real life career. Like, that's what the kids coming up want to be. I want to be on YouTube.
I want to be a YouTuber.
Yeah, I want to be a YouTuber.
Yep. It's not, I want to be an astronaut anymore.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe it is.
Yeah, some kids, but being a YouTuber is a
legitimate
career now. Yeah, and that wasn't like that, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe?
Yeah.
It's just been popping.
What are some things that you do to take advantage of the internet? I mean, like, as far distribution. I mean, marketing is a lot more accessible because you can do your own marketing now. Like, what are some things that you're either like? We can also talk about struggles too. Like, what's hard about it?
My hardest thing is marketing, because marketing costs a lot of money, and I feel like
How so? Which in which respect?
Depending on how many eyes you want to get in front of, you know what I mean? Like, for one example is I used to use Instagram marketing, and they've been greedy. Instagram, y'all been getting greedy, man. That's whack. But yeah, you used to put like $20 on a post, and it would get in front of the right eyes. You know, you get your numbers up a little bit. Yeah. But not so much now with Instagram. But you'd have to put more money down. But you know, you can literally do it from your phone. PayPal. Sorry, what's the question again?
I forgot.
Yeah.
No, it was how how do you use how are you using the internet, these tools, like how are you taking advantage of that?
Definitely. Yeah, like I said, social media. Definitely social media, Instagram. I love Instagram, even though I'm kind of talking stuff right now, but it's because I love you.
Instagram is crazy.
And it's cool because literally that's the one, I feel like that's the one that connected us all worldwide. Facebook, I feel like, is more friends and family.
Right.
Like, I think that era is when we all kind of got in together with friends and family. But Instagram is worldwide, man. Like, literally, you can talk to somebody across the world. I mean, you can do it on Facebook, but Instagram is kind of
created a culture.
Open. Yeah, exactly.
Culture.
There's a culture of Instagram that the world is a part of now.
I want to ask you, I think we talked a little bit about it, about TikTok.
Oh,
because that's like let me set the scene real quick here, because TikTok has the potential to be the laughable thing that Instagram or Facebook or YouTube at one point was, and it is the thing that potentially could become one of those things over the next 5 years or something.
Maybe quicker than that.
Quicker, and it's already happening. And I think like right now it's some people are starting to take it a little more seriously, but like. It's still heavily like, I mean, 6 months ago I was like picking on TikTok.
Yeah,
and I was like, what am I doing?
Same.
Like, I'm only 20 and I'm already acting like a person who's looking down on this whole thing. But
that's another thing about rapid changes, man. Instagram, like Facebook wasn't that long ago. Instagram is the thing now, but TikTok is right. Vine, we had Vine for a minute.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like TikTok has replaced Vine in a way.
Yeah. It is the more matured. It has the potential to have the longevity that Vine lacked.
But I haven't really got into it. I mean, I have a profile and I'm just figuring it out. But
yeah,
I don't know. My thing about social media too is it becomes another job, especially when you're trying to build a brand behind it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, last year, for example, I pushed it so hard, and my followers went through the roof when I was pushing it. This year, I kind of took a break from it, and I don't post as much. I'm not putting as much content out. That's the thing too. You have to constantly put out content.
Yeah.
And this year on Instagram, I was like, let me just focus on the back end of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's something I'm not good at, which is why I'm doing this podcast.
This is good, heck yeah.
Because this creates video content, long form video content for YouTube, because that over indexes there. Then we can pull the short form. The guests are going to post short form content of their stuff. It helps them out. It's building a community.
Definitely.
And then I can take all this content and that's kind of my selfish approach there with this podcast, because I'm not good at I'm just not good at doing all the content.
Man,
I'm getting better.
But I mean, this is great.
Hard.
This is great.
Yeah.
This goes back to what were we talking about earlier? Consistency.
Yeah.
People's attention spans. That's what we were talking about earlier. The attention spans are so short. It's like you have to put out a lot more content. And sometimes that's a lot. You know what I mean? But content, you have to create your own content too. You can't wait around for anybody. That's one thing that's changed.
let's dive into that a little bit. Like waiting around, like everybody in Los Angeles, and I would argue, I mean, everybody everywhere is trying to figure out their purpose and figure out how they can be
the next level,
whatever, the next level, the next this, the next, everyone's constantly trying to level up. You never reach a point where you're satisfied.
Well, you know what? Pause.
Okay.
Do you think people do? Or they're just like, all right, I'm good here. I'm content here.
I think most people do.
Okay.
I think most people plateau though. I don't think everyone, because I also, one of my questions later on, I want to ask you. Actually, I'm going to ask you now. Are you happy right now?
Am I happy right now?
Like overall, would you consider yourself a happy person?
At this moment, yeah. Sometimes I let this career dictate that a little too much.
Okay.
Like last year, I don't think I was really too happy because, I mean, life happens. I have to deal with real life, and I don't really talk about my personal life too much. But personal life problems happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have career, and we're talking about journeys. I feel like this is my life journey. This is my purpose to finish this out, see this through, and see what happens. Yeah. So when it's going down and nothing is happening, it would eat me up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If I'm not acting, if I'm not doing anything, that would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
But then you got personal life that you got to deal with too, which can be hard. So as an entertainment, it's a career.
It's a roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster, man.
It's a micro roller coaster and a macro roller coaster.
Definitely.
So as far as the plateau, because I think most people, and I'm a young person, I understand, but like I think most people, because of the societal construct that we were talking about earlier, you go to school, you go to more school, you get married, you have kids, and that's kind of starting to shift now. We're starting to see a little more open-minded around that setup. I think a lot of people, though, don't have the patience to go through and see things through, and feel like they need to have it figured out sooner than they actually do, and therefore they settle and plateau. And because I don't think, like, if you talk about money, no one ever has enough money. I feel like everyone kind of agrees on that. Yeah. There's no point where I think it's the same with achievements and accomplishments and not even less selfish things, like as far as being growth, as far as a person, as far as your maturity. I feel like there's always more to do and achieve, and there's always that ladder to climb. Do you ever reach that point? Do you ever reach a point where you're like, okay, I'm happy, I'm good, I can chill?
I feel like I will get to that, but I don't feel like I'm there yet. Dude,
what does that look like for you?
Yeah, I was just about to say, my dream that I would just love to be peaceful at is waking up. I think I want to act forever, man, because acting is something, music too, maybe. Just being an artist, you can do forever. And if I can continue to make a living off of that forever, amazing. But what makes me happy, what I feel like would make me happy, I don't know until I get it. That's how it is sometimes. A lot of times you don't know what it really is until you get it. But I'm a country boy at heart. So I definitely want a house in the country with some land that I can fish on. You know what I mean? If I can wake up sometime, just be back there and chill. But there's also that other side of me where I am a hustler. I do have to go. And that's maybe because I'm still young. But I know later in life, I definitely want that. That'll be happiness. But like I said, my main thing is being able to create with my friends and just do what I want. And that take care of my living for me. Because we have to have money to live. So I just rather do what I want to do for fun. But money just comes in from it. And it takes care of
it's gotta
the
be,
BS. You know what I mean?
Would you say that has to be a byproduct? Like, if you're chasing the money, or are you chasing the thing that makes you happy, which is the money becomes a byproduct of that? Like is money a byproduct, or is money something that you feel like you need to also chase?
Both.
Unfortunately, both. I feel like money is stupid. I think we got too deep into this. I think too many people I think the world, but society as a whole worries too much about money. There used to be a barter system where people are like, yo, I got this, let me get you this. All right, cool. That's
which
easy.
is kind of what we do.
Exactly.
Early stage, throughout the entertainment industry, it's kind of a barter system. To some extent.
You definitely have to have money to live. That's not. You can't escape that, unless you want to be homeless. Unless you don't want to you want to go on the other side. But money's fun. I see money as like a game. I do. It's like, all right, if I get money, what can I do with it to make more money, or, but
you have to pay your bills. You want to live, you have to pay the bills. So it's both. But I don't want my creativity to be forced to make me money. I want to be able to create, and if money comes from it, amazing.
There we go. Yeah.
That's why I still work the hotel. I feel like the hotel is my money thing.
Okay, gotcha.
Like that takes care of my regular life.
So you can create freely.
Exactly.
You don't have to chase the bag doing the thing you love.
Exactly. But money, while I'm doing what I love, money does start to come from that. So that's a plus. You know what I mean? Right. It's like, all right, well, if I can do this more and more, I can get away from
start
this.
To scale it. Mm-hmm. And then it becomes its own.
Yeah, and it's like, all right, well, let me just have fun all the time. And then money's taken care of. Yeah. Taken care of. But I guess in a way, I was thinking about this too. Sorry, I'm just getting off tangent.
No. Keep. But I love it.
Every day, I don't know if you feel this way too. You probably do. But I can make a song every day. Like I'll be at work, right?
Yeah.
And something pops in my head. But I'm at work. I'm not in a studio. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, I feel like if I could be free enough to just wake up and go to the studio. You know what I mean? Yeah. That'd be cool too. If I did that if that was my job, 4 or 5 days, that'd be cool.
You know what's interesting about that is because right now I'm fully self-employed right now.
Nice.
I had savings, and so I'm doing this right now because I'm also going to be traveling again in a couple months. So or in a month. So like when I got back to LA, I was like, I can't get a job right now. I'm gonna take this 2 months, focus on music. And what I found was that when I had a job and I grew up working in the family business and all of that, I am sometimes more productive and more creative when I have the thing I don't want to do because it helps me capitalize on the time, the limited amount of time I have to be creative. So when I get off the clock and I don't have to do the thing I have to do, I am so laser focused and I'm a beast. When I come back into the studio, when I was doing vlogs consistently, like that was exhausting and tiring. But something about that exhaustion and the mentality of being forced to do something I hated. I hate working for other people. It pushes me so much more than having this totally free. Like I wake up in the morning, I come down, I check emails, I start going through my stuff, and I'm trying to start to create more routine to push myself. Because it's hard to push yourself.
It is.
Like maybe that's something to talk about too. Like how do we push ourselves out of our comfort zones?
A lot of us do that. Like, you'll be like, I'm self-employed. But when you go to work for somebody, you get up at 8 o'clock or you get up whatever time you have to be there. You're there on time. Yeah. But when you're working for yourself, I don't know. Maybe it's hard for us to put our own self on a schedule or what. But I get
there's no accountability. Yes. Or less accountability at least.
Like I'll get to it. And then which ends up, you get into it later than you should have. You should have got up at 6 o'clock like you would have. Yeah. I'm trying to get to that too, man. So I feel you on that. That's interesting.
And that discipline is like... Something I've been really... I keep learning so much. Like every 6 months, I'm like, I just learned so much about discipline, mental discipline, and being disciplined in my schedule. And then I'm like, bro, there's still so much more. Like I'm never going to figure all this out. Which is exciting.
Yeah. It gives you something to look forward to. Keep working at. I took off actually for a year, maybe a year and a half. And that's when I created my first EP. I had so much free time. That's when I really got into martial arts.
We didn't even talk about that yet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I really got in. Because when I wasn't working for somebody 8 to 10 hours a day, with traffic and stuff, I had all that time to write more, to get in the studio. Yeah. To go be at the gym for 2 or 3 hours a day, you know what I mean? You forget how much time you don't have. So I feel like, in a way, if I could just get my yearly expenses covered, plus studio time money or whatever, creative money, that'd be the life. You know what I mean? Because I did really enjoy that year I took off and I created an EP, still recorded the second one, got into all that other stuff, man, and just had so much more time, so... Maybe it's a balance. Sometimes you have to be over there doing that.
Yeah. It's interesting. Balancing, like there's so many balances.
That's been my word of the year.
Balance?
Balance is the word of the year for me this year.
That's good.
I've seen that so much, said it so much. Last year was resilience. Last year was a tough year.
Ooh.
Last year was resilience. But I was like, if I can make it through this year, I'll be fine. And it's true. And this year is balance. So that's important.
How did you get into martial arts?
I've always been into UFC. Well, I've always been like, I don't know, growing up I was into fighting. But I think that's from my mom's side of the family.
Okay.
Like a lot of my cousins, just fighters, street fighters.
Family.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just in our blood.
Yeah.
But then UFC came about, and I was like, yo, this is cool. You know what I mean? But I was still in Texas thinking about football. Looking back on it, I probably just would have got into wrestling or something, to be real. But yeah, I got into UFC and I just watched. And then even though I was in the military, man, during school, they'd have like these judo classes, and I picked it up there. That was probably like the first time I went to a class for it. And I did some judo there. And then I had a daughter, and when she was 3, we put her in martial arts just so she could have that in her. And then I was like, yo, yeah. And I was like, yo, let me try it. And I signed up, got a good deal at the gym, and I just started going, man.
What martial art were you
Jiu-jitsu, and I still do it. I was just there last night. Jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, kickboxing.
Okay,
For the most part. So stand up and ground game,
cool. Yeah.
But I'm into all the martial arts, man. I appreciate any kind of, self-defense or whatever.
Have you done any martial arts or stunt stuff in movies, TV? Do you want to get into that?
Yeah, I do want to get into that. It's funny, the movie I was just talking about earlier, I had a stunt guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like, I could do this. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't need... But he was falling off the car, too. I didn't want to do that.
Falling off a car?
Yeah. But there was other stuff. I did like a little stunt in there. But another movie I did, my Lifetime movie, I got to drive a police car.
Oh, that's cool.
And, weapons training. I know you do weapons, too. So, the military and being in Texas, got into weapons.
Oh, absolutely.
But that background helped me to be able to do that myself. I need a stunt guy for that. And driving a police car was peeling out. Like, I can do this.
That's fun.
I do my own stunts. I just don't want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'll fall on mats, all that. I'd be definitely down to do stunts, man.
Yeah.
Fighting scenes, action movie. If I can do an action movie, that'd be awesome.
So to close out the episodes, what we're doing, we just did the first episode a few nights ago, and the guest Leah mentioned this thing of the current guest asked the question for the next guest.
Okay.
The closing question. So her closing question was, what was the first step in pursuing what you wanted to do? Like, what was that first thing you did to take action towards? And we kind of talked about it a little bit, so it might be redundant, but do you have a...
Well, because, I don't know, first step was getting up and trying something new. Getting on that stage, I guess that was the first step. To be honest, I never even knew, like, how to get into acting or none of the entertainment. I didn't even think of it as a career, ever.
Try something new.
Yeah, try something new.
Any closing advice? Anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, persistence is key. I've heard this a lot, and I'm just passing it on to the next person that needs to hear it. You only lose when you quit. You'll win if you stick it out. And it's true. The longer you stick out something, eventually you start winning. You know what I mean? Because I've thought about quitting acting a lot. I've thought about going home year after year. But if I quit that year, the first year I thought about it, I would have never had a resume. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah. If you really want it, just be a little crazy and don't quit. I just like to thank everybody who supports me. Thank y'all so much. We're winning. We're going to win.
Awesome, bro. Thank you for being on.
Thank you. Give it up to Brendan one more time. One more time, man. This guy is on his way, for real. Great guy.
Thank you, bro.
For real. Thank you.
Let's do a writing session.
Let's do it.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Purpose or Delusion. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes, and also be sure to check out the previous episodes you may have missed. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week.